Hey everybody, it's Chris Small, the owner of CMS Law Firm. Today, I want to talk to you about how to distribute assets to meet someone's wishes, someone that's died that maybe did not have their stuff set up properly, okay? Before I get to that, though, I want to remind you, if you have questions about this or anything else related to estate planning or probate, you can talk to us over the phone for free by going to cmslawfirm.com. Okay, so this is something that question I get asked relatively often. Is a question I got asked today, and that's why I am talking to you about it. So I had a potential client call up, and he was facing a quandary. His father had passed away, and had left had a will basically, and it left everything equally to the kids. That's great, but there was someone else that he wanted to leave something to. And everybody knew it, and everybody was cool with it. Everybody was on board with it, but they weren't sure how to do it when it comes to the money. They wanted to make sure that this person got the things that they were supposed to get, but they weren't sure how to do it because there were potentially like income tax issues involved. There were gift tax issues involved. They talked about doing a disclaimer. So, okay, all these are buzzwords that if you're in this situation, you're going to be like, dang, how do I figure this out? This is complicated, okay? And the way that you want to do it is this. To start, you're going to, call someone like me, okay? Because depending on what you're trying to do and what the asset is that you're trying to split up and the asset is that you're trying to distribute to the person and how much it is, all of these questions are going to be answered differently, okay? Because although you may not have income tax to pay on distributions from an estate all the time, if you have an IRA or a retirement account, for example, that you liquidate, when you liquidate that account, you're going to have to pay income tax on it. And depending on where it goes, you may have to pay the income tax on it. If you get a distribution and then you give it to somebody else, you may still be responsible for the income tax on that. If you get a big gift and you want to give it to someone else, okay, because they were supposed to get it, right? Supposed to get it in quotation marks, and you want to uphold that wish, then you may have gift tax implications involved, okay? The general rule, by the way, is that you can give $15,000 to as many people as you want in any year without having to worry about gift taxes, okay? And on top of that, you don't have to pay any gift tax unless your total gifts over the span of your lifetime is $11.7 million or more. Most people don't have to worry about that number, but you may find yourself in a situation where you're giving more than $15,000 in a year if someone died and left you a big gift that you then want to give to someone else, okay? The other thing that people often talk about doing or think about doing or will show up when you Google is something called a disclaimer. A disclaimer is basically when you sign a document that says, I don't want this gift, or I don't want this bequest, right? I don't want this distribution to come to me. I want the world, when it comes to this distribution, to pretend that I died beforehand, okay? This is something that you only want to do in very specific circumstances because what people often think of is, oh, I do a disclaimer, I will say I don't want my gift, and then I get to pick where it goes. That's not true, okay? And many people have been burned by this. What happens when you disclaim is that, like I said, you are treated as if you died before the person the decedent, before the person that died. And so that means your distribution basically goes wherever the will says it should go, wherever the state intestate laws say it should go. That is the direction of the distribution, not where you want it to go. The only way that you get to decide where your gift goes or where your inheritance goes is if you get it and then you distribute it out, okay? So remember that if you're thinking about doing a disclaimer, if you're talking about doing a disclaimer, the only time you'd want to do a disclaimer is if the person that you want to give your inheritance to is the next person in line, if you are treated as having predeceased the decedent. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? In the person I was talking to today, it was really interesting, and it was fun, honestly, because there were income tax issues involved. We talked about disclaimer for a little bit. There were gift tax things to think about. and there were different distributions to think about, and there was even a trust involved, and so it was a lot of fun. But it's a lot of fun for me because I talk about this stuff. If you don't know about it, you can sort of mess it up if you're not careful, okay? The main thing that you do not want to do in a situation like this is to just say, well, I know what the will says, or I know what the rules say. I'm just going to give this person over here this thing anyway, because everybody knows that they should have got it. Everybody agrees that they should have got it. You don't want to do that because you can, again, run into some different issues with regard to income taxes. You can run into different issues with regard to gift taxes. You can just run into other just random issues that you don't think about if you don't follow the chain correctly. All right? So to summarize, if someone dies and they had a wish that some of their assets go to someone that's not named in the will, or that's not in line to get the thing that everybody knows they should get and everybody agrees they should get, then you can make that happen if you are a little creative and if you take a little bit of time to plan it out and do it right, okay? But to do that, you probably want to talk to somebody at least to figure it out, okay? And that someone is us. And if you want to talk to us about this or anything else related to estate planning or probate, you can do so by going to cmslawfirm.com. Okay, that's it for today. As always, I'm Christopher Small, and I appreciate you if you've watched or listened this far. And that's all I've got for today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you again soon. See ya.